Quite an interesting turn of events today in Kenyan politics. The politics of impeachment, it's getting heated and heated and heated every step of the way. And I believe our viewers and the rest of Kenya are keenly watching what is going on. Right now, what is happening is every other person, including the deputy president, who is at the center of this impeachment process, is holding their cards close to their chest. Nobody wants to show their cards to the other person. President Ruto so far has played it so silently and yet so cool. He's so cool about this issue. It's like he's not even involved in any way. But I believe from State House is running things with his men, both at the Senate and the National Assembly. I believe President Ruto, as at now, knows he has the numbers to go through with this impeachment hearing and eventually remove or ensure that Rigathi Gachagua is removed from the office of the deputy president. But what is happening right now is like more of chess. You know, nobody wants to put out their game out there so that the other party can know what is their next move. Why am I talking like this? One is there is the general expectation that Rigathi Gachagua will eventually resign. And a lot of things, the way things are going, you'd feel now, I think it is time that he resigns now. I think it is time that he resigns now. So today, for most of you, there were rumors. I don't know whether there were rumors or it was true, but it was said that he was going to address the nation at 6. And then that did not happen. And then I think some people also said he was going to address the nation at around 7. So that did also not happen. Why is that the case? I believe the deputy president is still clinging and believes that the court is going to help him. So right now what he wants to do, he wants to put all his eggs in one basket, and that is the court. So that is why he's pushing for what we call an injunction. He wants the court to issue a conservatory order, what we call a conservatory order, against the impeachment hearing set for tomorrow. So essentially, he wants to halt the process by so that the cases that have been filed challenging is the impeachment are heard and determined. Now, what has happened today? What has happened today is what I believe so many people did not expect, considering in many other cases, courts have been so much eager to come to help or even to the assistance or to the defense of so many governors who have faced impeachment proceedings before. So for the deputy president, it was quite interesting when Justice Chacha Mwita read his ruling today regarding the agency and whether or not he could issue a conservatory orders. So the thing that happened is that prayer was denied. And once that prayer was denied, there was a helter-skelter movement among the legal luminaries from both parties, especially from Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's side. They moved so fast to ensure and appeared before the three-bench judges, which had been appointed by Chief Justice Koome, so that they can argue their case once again for injunctive orders, for conservatory orders, so that the Senate is barred from discussing or proceeding with the impeachment hearing tomorrow. So the arguments have been made by the lawyers. One of them arguing that Rigathi Gachagua wasn't offered a fair hearing. A fair hearing, that is one that came out, that it wasn't offered a fair hearing. So if you want to unpack that one, then possibly would say it wasn't really the right time to raise the issue of a fair hearing because the process is still ongoing. The hearing itself was not happening at the National Assembly level. That is where just people were debating on the grounds of impeachment, and then whether or not those grounds were supported by evidence to warrant an impeachment against him. So the National Assembly voted saying, well, in terms of the grounds and the evidence that have been presented, we believe that Rigathi Gachagua should be impeached. So what has happened right now, and that is why he still remains the deputy president, regardless of the fact that he's been impeached, is because the hearing has not taken place. The hearing takes place at the Senate. So that has not taken place. So raising the issue of fair hearing at that stage is a bit early and goes against what I would term as the principle of ripeness. The principle of ripeness. That means that the issue, the core issue, has not materialized in order for a legal issue to arise. So that is not yet, and that is why you could hear the lawyers for the assembly, the National Assembly, arguing that it is not yet that stage where they could raise an issue. Advocate Gumbo argued it quite perfect, saying, let the process run its course. Then afterwards, you can come and challenge the process. So you enable the court to be presented with evidence of the whole process, rather than arresting a process which is already ongoing, and a process which again is a constitutional process. An impeachment against a deputy president or any other person for that matter is a constitutional process. Let it run its course. Another argument which I found quite interesting coming from the deputy president side was that the deputy president has a right to hold the office. That personally, I really do not know where that comes from, that you have a right to hold a public office. I've never had you can make an argument because he was elected, but I don't know whether because somebody has been elected, therefore a right attaches upon him to hold a particular office. If that were the case, then we wouldn't have these issues or impeachment articles in our constitution. We won't have those, because then if you have a right to hold an office once you are elected, then essentially you cannot be removed. That is basically the argument I think they were trying to advance, and which again the court rightfully ignored. And that argument again found its way before the three-judge bench. And if you want to know how interesting this is, because it is now people are working against time, it is this. If the deputy president allows himself, because right now I believe he's banking mainly on the ruling that is set for tomorrow at 8 a.m. Had it been that there was no application that was being heard by the three-judge bench, I believe he would have come out and possibly addressed or even resigned. I really expected him to resign, but he still has time. He still has time up to Thursday, when I believe the Senate will be taking that vote. He still has time. If he believes that the odds are stacked against him, he can resign at any time before that vote is taken. But I think he wants to take all his chances. He wants to take all possible chances he can get and ensure that this process, at least if he can, is halted for the moment. So that is why today I believe he did not come out and address the nation as it was expected or rumored that he would come really and address the nation. So many people really expected him to come out. And once there was a three-judge bench and then the ruling set for tomorrow at 8 a.m., there was no need, because again, the judges may just come and say, let us halt the impeachment hearing. Do I see that as a possibility? I really don't see that as a possibility. The reason why I don't see that as a possibility is this. There is the principle of separation of powers. It would be outrageous for judiciary to come and injunct Parliament against conducting its official and constitutionally obligated business, which is impeachment hearing against the deputy president. That is the business of the Senate. So for a court to really come and halt that business, there has to be serious reasons. There has to be very, very serious reasons to do so. As at now, I'm not seeing any of those serious issues. And my expectation is that tomorrow, the deputy president team may again lose on that ground. The court is not going to stop the Senate from proceeding with the hearing. I'm not saying that that is a definite outcome for tomorrow, but it is highly, highly likely that the court is not going to stop the Senate from hearing or proceeding with the impeachment hearing. Now, what happens if the court allows it to proceed? Then Rigathi Gachagua would be left with just one choice: resign. If he doesn't resign, he risks losing every other benefit he might have under the law. And most importantly, he risks throwing his own political career away completely in the bin. The reason being, once that vote is taken and it is more than 2/3, or at least 2/3 of members of the Senate, then he would cease to be the deputy president immediately that vote is taken. Immediately that vote is. So when he's going back, he would not be going back as the deputy president, because then if you go to court and possibly argue that you'd like the court to maintain the status quo, then the argument that would be coming from the side of the Senate is, what is the status quo? The status quo that we have right now is we do not have a deputy president. And because we do not have a deputy president, constitutional timelines kicks in. One has to be there within 14 days. The president has to nominate one within 14 days upon the vacancy arising from the office of the deputy president. So if you listened to Kimani Ichung'wah while he was speaking, I believe he was speaking in Kiambu today, he spoke so candidly, because it seems like this thing, it is a foregone conclusion that the deputy president is going to go. And right now, the processes of identifying the new deputy president are started. Those processes have kicked in. You see people arguing, saying or proposing this, Mudavadi here, others are saying it will be Kindiki. So all these things do not just happen out of thin air. They happen because they know clearly the deputy president, the Senate rather, is going to uphold the impeachment of the deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. So let us wait for tomorrow and see how things unfold and see what the position the court will take going forward. That would mark the end of our analysis for today. I would urge you once again, kindly subscribe to our channel, leave a like, leave a comment, and also click on that notification bell so that you're notified whenever we post. Thank you very much.